All right. I don't know. Are we live? Are we live? Or are we dead? Oh, I see. So my stream is really, really late. So you could see my YouTube admin page. Sorry. Okay, welcome to the stream. And I don't know, I just turned on this something in the bottom right corner, the watermark. Is this really annoying to have it there? If it's too annoying, I will remove it. That's why I went to the YouTube studio to check that one. I just decided I have no idea how to do it. I mean, I just have to click around and find how to do it, and I just don't want to do it now. And anyways, so welcome to the stream. Is it like no one watching right now? I saw there were 2 people waiting for the stream, but maybe everyone lost their patience. So, what we are going to do today is that we are going to... So we implemented this thing last time, this door. So let's just... Oh no, I should have put you in floating mode first. So, stop. Alright. So, did we, what am I doing? Yeah, so here we have the doors. We can pull up these handles, and when we move them to the side, the door opens. Okay, so this is the concept that we implemented last time. Now I want this to be added to the OpenSuspect game, and I already had some preparations beforehand, so I just moved this to a separate project to just have a much easier way of fiddling with this GUI, and we will now see how will it work in the real OpenSuspect game. So of course first we need to find our files here, assets. I guess this is going to be UI, tasks, and the chemical cabinet. And this is our real UI, and this is on this what's it called? What is it called? Let me just go to the... It is called window dialog task. So it's a window dialog, which is kind of a pop-up. And so here I have a little different naming of the things that I had in my other project, but it doesn't matter, everything is like the same. This is a cabinet, just back, door open, door closed, these are same. So what I need to change is how the handles work, I think. Handle right and handle left, because here the handles, yeah, the handle is at a like a, so we need to move the center to this top point of the handle. So the handle rotates around this top point here, not like the middle. For that we used transform and y minus 50. So I need to do that here too. Transform y minus 50. This one also, the position should be y minus 50. And what else? So this one and this one just got y plus 50. Alright, so the sprite itself goes down by 50 and also the collision shape goes down by 50. That should do it. Alright, and then let's copy the code. So we have all these esoteric functions here, which are for the task system, but what we need is we need to copy the things that handle the movement of that. So let me just, can I just, oh, I can just press that button and I can only see the code now. Great. So I want to just copy this part from handle right. Okay, so now let's start from the beginning. So we need all these variables. These ones we already have. So let's go up here and insert all these variables. So left in, left grab, right in, right grab. We don't need these anymore. And left handle, right handle, door open, door closed. Okay, and from here, so handle left mouse entered and handle right mouse entered and mouse exited. I think these are already implemented here. Handle left mouse entered, handle right, yeah, these are all implemented. So what we need to implement is just the check door handles, move handles, and then of course the contents of these over here. Okay, so this, what, check door handles and move handles. No, not here. I shouldn't have, I should paste them just right over here. Okay, and then these scripts will be used here, and this will be used here. Okay. Okay, so now this is, the functions have been copied over. Now we need to see is this going to work or is it not going to work? So let's just run this whole thing. And so OpenSuspect, I can actually resize the window and everything is going to be resized with it. So okay, this is how we look. Wow, is it because I resized the window that now I can see the outside of the train? Looks super weird. Anyways, so now can we, oh, we have the chemical cabinets over here at the task screen, so I can just go up here and click the chemical cabinet button. And oh, damn. And it just worked. This is really surprising. Okay, so what we need to implement here, first I can just walk through this thing here, which is, I guess, not optimal. What I need to implement here are two things. First of all, I want, if once I opened this cabinet, I want the everything, like, I want this sprite here to show me the open cabinet. That should be one of the things for today. And there is another thing which I need to go back to lobby and then start game again. And Why did it fail? So I just go create game. No, actually, I guess I broke the lobby in general. It wasn't just because of resizing the window. Because the lobby should only follow our character, so we shouldn't be able to see outside this box. Somewhere along the way I broke our train. Alright, so chemical cabinet is there as a task. I don't know, we can use this, the scroll wheel. It acts weird. Anyway, it's not acting weird, it does two things at the same time, which is not nice. So what we can do here is, let me just walk to this, let me just pick this thing up and bring it somewhere around here. And when I open this cabinet, I can actually, if I remember well, yeah, it's too far. Let me just bring it closer. So if I now open this cabinet and I click here, close the door, you can see that I picked up this battery here, which I shouldn't have. So this thing, this overlay does not consume my clicks and let me just click there and pick up the item while I'm at it. And also, why is this door not symmetric? It looks weird. So that would be one thing we have to figure out how to do, is that not picking up this battery. So I want the clicks to be consumed by this window, if that makes sense. And for something like that, we have actually in our I have to go up to the main window here, and there will be input pass on what pass on model close click enables where input should propagate when you close control as model. If false, stop event handling at the viewport. Input event handling. The viewport first hides the model and after marks the input as handled. What does this even mean? Okay, where is this coming from? Control input. So this is the window dialog task. And if I just extends window dialog task. So if I just click on this, control click on this, extends window dialog base. Window dialog base is extends window dialog. Class window dialog. Alright. Properties, methods, only texture button. Alright, not much here. What does it extend? It extends inherits from pop-up. Pop-up, okay. Not much here either. Not much useful. Not many useful things. Control. Probably control. There we'll have our most important functions. Properties. Anchor left, top right, margin, grow, rect, position, rect min size, focus neighbor left, focus previous, focus mode, mouse filter. Mouse filter controls whether the control will be able to receive mouse button input events through GUI input and how these events should be handled. Also controls whether the control can receive the mouse entered, mouse exited signals. See the constants to learn what each does. I don't know. What does it mean? Enables whether input should propagate when you close control as modal. I don't even know what it means that as close the control as modal. If false, stop event handling at viewport input event handling. Okay. I have no idea what we are talking about here, honestly. And I guess no one in the chat knows because everyone's silent. Which is sad because we need to. Okay, let me just unclick this. I don't really like it's something. It sounds really weird. Doesn't really look like it's whatever I'm looking for, but dang. Okay, so let's just bring this item here. Let's open the closet. Yeah, this is not what I'm looking for. Okay. This one I have no idea what it does, so let's just leave it as it was. Filter. Stop, pass, ignore. So I think this was if I... yeah. Moxvalix also doesn't know what's going on, and the problem is I don't either. So this is what I was told by, I think it was Second Real Zero who told me I should fiddle with this filter, because if I put it to stop, then what will happen? I think... oh. Think... okay, back to lobby. I don't have the task. If I don't have the task, I cannot open the... okay, and the game went crazy. So we don't really handle some things well when we go back to the lobby, I think. Yeah, chemical cabinet works now. So now, if I open this window and I click here, close the window. Okay, let's try again. Yeah, now it's not picking it up. But the problem is now neither do the door handles work. So this is what was my issue. This is why I just had to separate this to another project just to see what I'm doing wrong. Why don't these work? And these don't work because I changed the mouse setting to stop. If I set it to pass, what will it do? Probably it won't affect... oh, come on. Can't I resize you? Thank you. And just go in there. No, back to lobby. Start game and attempt to call function get node in base previously freed instance on a null instance. Yeah, we do not free something. Okay, so do you want me, can you reproduce, because I did not push these changes to my GitHub yet. So do you want me to push this to my GitHub so you can just I guess clone my this what is it? Whatever this is. So right. right. So pass, yeah, I did not check whether it works or not because the game froze. Okay, we have the chemical cabin as a task now, so let me bring this battery here. Okay, now, but still my handlebars don't work, so it doesn't really matter. So what we need to do is for some way we need to consume the clicks on this thing. So what else should I try? I should try if I go to ignore, and I'll have to be very precise with this because what I want to check is whether I just should just what have I done? What is the name of this window? OpenSuspect debug. I'll want to okay, let's start again. Great. I think this is the way I should be dealing with this. Stream wise, which bug is in the base game? So I need to put this somewhere over here. Come on, why isn't... Oh, because I don't have the task of the chemical cabinet. Okay, now I have the chemical cabinet. So now I have to figure out that if I open this and I click on this door handle, and now I close it. Did I pick it up? Yeah, so it did not consume the click. So the click went through even though I guess I only clicked... Okay, so this... I clicked here and that got consumed by it, and if I close, it still picked it up. Okay, so I have to figure out how... Oh, the back to the lobby twice bug. The second time the game doesn't load. Yeah, there's something is wrong how we destroy something when we exit the game, when we go back to lobby. I think an error in the death handling system. Yeah. Can you please write a GitHub issue for that? Okay, so this what I need to figure out is Godot engine consume click. Who consumed my click? Nodes in viewport consume clicks using input event. Yeah, we should make a GitHub issue for that. Thank you. Okay, so how do I consume? Because this is what happens here is that first of all, standard node input function will be called in any node that overrides it and doesn't disable input processing. Okay, I'm reading it, but I don't know what it means. And we'll try to feed the input to the GUI and see if any control can receive it. If so, the control will be called by the virtual function control.GUI input and the signal GUI input will be emitted. This function is re-implementable by script by inheriting from it. If the control wants to consume the event, it will call control accept event and the event will not spread anymore. Use control.mouseFilter property to control whether a control is notified or mouse events via control GUI input callback and what? The unhandled input callback will be called if overridden. If no one wanted the event so far and the camera is assigned to the viewpoint array, the physics world will be cast. For that viewpoint, hit an object will call the collision object input event function. Finally, if the event was unhandled, it will be passed to the next viewport in the tree, otherwise it will be ignored. So when sending events to all listening nodes within a scene, the viewport will do so in a reverse depth first order, starting with the node at the bottom of the scene tree and ending at the root node. Wait, what? GUI events also travel up the scene tree, but since these events target specific controls, only direct ancestors of the targeted control node will receive the event. In accordance with good old node-based design, this enables specialized child nodes to handle and consume particular events, while their ancestors and ultimately the scene root can provide more generalized behavior if needed. Any event that has the methods input is action and is pressed. Yeah, this is what I don't understand actually, is that it says that I'm sorry for scrolling so much, it must look really horrible on the stream. But what it says is that when sending events to all listening nodes within a scene, the viewport will do so in a reverse depth first order, starting with the node at the bottom of the scene tree and ending at the root node. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So this one gets it first, this one gets it second, third, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here, I should, when I click on this should get my mouse click first and then should go up to this whole window. But even if I just switch this filter to stop or something, that will stop these in here to receive my click, which I don't understand why. I don't understand why. How do I stop getting that click going through? So I have all these nodes which are input event, and these don't have that. Control. Well, the chemical cabinet, so this whole thing seems to have input event. Focus entered, focus exited, GUI input, emitted when the node receives an input event. Should I use this function to, on this, what is this called? This signal. To chemical cabinet GUI input. Can I get a help on this? I guess I'll have to open the documentation for the control node here, which is fine, I guess. Search control. Description, tutorials, user interface, custom drawing in 2D. Alright. So what we need here is methods. Not methods. What we need here is graph, click, focus, I don't care, signals. GUI input, emitted when the node receives an input event, and that's the old description we have here. Mouse entered will not be emitted if the mouse enters a child control node before entering the parent's rect area, at least until the mouse is moved to reach the parent's rect area. I don't think that really matters here. You are beyond my good old level. Yeah, I'm sorry. I need to be the smart person in the room because I'm the one doing the stream, but I just... Okay, still super confused by the description. So maybe I should just check a tutorial. Tutorials, where are you? Tutorials, user interface. You can see that I already checked those, but honestly I forgot what are in these tutorials. Typical layout controls in custom GUI controls. Custom drawing in 2D. Arc function and whatever do we have? Dynamic custom drawing. Don't forget to modify the draw function. No, I don't think this will be it. Custom, you can see that I've already clicked on all these things once in my life and I still haven't solved this problem. So size is important with controls as it helps to organize them in proper layouts. Yeah, but I don't really want this. I just want to know how that should be done. Okay, let's go back to the search engine here. And how I've handled area 2D mouse click. I've already checked this one, but it doesn't hurt to check once more. Yeah, that's what I just seen. If you have a group of objects, all children of the larger area 2D, you could make them all be of type area 2D and connect their input event signals. And then each input event function just assume that it is the object being clicked. I don't know what that should tell me. How to identify click event on a node 2D. Mouse and input coordinates. How to detect click inside collision object 2D. So this is what I'm doing. And if even, yeah, that's all fine. Are we just screwed because we put this whole task onto the what is this? The pop-up? I don't know. Maybe that's what's the problem here, that we just... What am I even looking at here? So I need the code for this. And what we have here is, so we are on a window dialog task. Window dialog task, where are all these? So where are you even? Showing file system. Window dialog task, pop-up task. Pop-up panel task. And control base, control task. What's the difference between all these? So these all have these kind of extra functions that will... Yeah, this is all the work of the second real zero, which... So what he does here is we get this control base, for example, which is just extends control. So control is our... Okay, so control, we extend control and override a few functions, add new functions here, I guess. And then control task becomes... So we add, in the control task, we add these very task specific functions here. So completing a task or receiving task data, UI data updated, base open. So when I open the window, I guess. And then all these pop-up panel tasks, these are similarly just on different bases, I guess. So maybe the problem is that it's on a window dialog, or maybe the problem is something totally different. So window dialog base is based on window dialog, and window dialog is based on pop-up. Window dialog is a base class for all window-based dialogs. It's by default top-level control that draws on window decoration and allows motion and resizing. But we don't really need that, do we? Pop-up is a base control used to show dialogs and pop-ups. It's sub-window and model by default and has helpers for custom pop-up behavior. All pop-up methods ensure correct placement within the viewport. The thing is that we go back to window dialog. Well, actually having the window dialog just helps me with that thing that when I go to this, I can just close this. I can move this window. No, I cannot move this window, but I can close this window by that X, and that's nice, I guess. Let's just so I also have the this. No, this does not work because I don't have that. We have the stand button clock something. Where did we hide that other task? I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know where did I put the stand button clock set test? I don't know, I'm just walking around here. I can move through the walls here. Alright, I cannot find that. Anyways, in any case, that does not help me with my issue anyways. Don't forget to connect the signal. Okay. Buttons aren't pressing. How to identify a click event on a node 2D. Use its own input method. Mouse and the coordinates. In the Godot demo projects, you can find a lot of code implementing such behavior. 2D bullet shower, GD paint, hexagonal map, instancing physics test, particles, navigation star, screen space shaders, role playing. Okay. It's not really helpful just to link the whole bunch of projects and not tell me which one I should take a look at. Okay, so we have to go back to the consume click question here, I guess. How can I disable the input when clicking something? Okay. My game is based click movement. When I click a place, the game character goes to the clicked position. Then I added some buttons like pause, game turn, sound. When I click the buttons, the game character goes to the position. Yeah, I think this is going to be exactly the question that I am looking for. You can see the picture. I don't want the movement when clicking the button. Yeah, nice. Your code should set up so the GUI object consumes the events first. When Godot processes input, this will happen automatically if you use unhandled input for your character movement rather than input, which has higher priority than GUI input. Changed to unhandled input and the problem solved. Okay. Okay. No. I don't think it's okay because these Godot Q&As are just frustratingly unhelpful. Because the thing is, when I click the buttons, the game characters go to the position, but it doesn't tell me that the click actually activates the button or not, because... Okay. Nodes in viewport consume clicks that were made outside the viewport. In my game there is a viewport that has as a child a world. Okay, world. Viewport takes half the screen space and the other half are the buttons that are not children of the viewport. However, when clicking on those buttons, the input is consumed by the nodes that are in the viewport world and are of course not visible right now through the viewport, since the click was outside the viewport instead of the buttons that are outside. Okay, I guess I understand what it's saying here. The viewport itself was not clicked on, but the world inside it consumed the input. Is that a bug? Is that a bug? Every node consumes input event. If you want the node to only consume input when no mouse cursor is in its borders, then you have to specify such conditions. Buttons and some control nodes used on press signals, so you don't have to do this with them. Isn't the part of viewport's functionality filter out inputs that take place outside its borders? Okay, this is just getting more and more confusing the more I look at this. Who consumed my click? Is there a way to know which node consumed the mouse click events? Rational. In my game I'm using multiple canvas layers, viewports, poses, etc. and I'm facing repeating situations in which I click on a node but the node doesn't react. I assume someone else consumed the click event. Is there a way to trace it? In the debugger there's a miss tab that has clicked control. This only works for control nodes though. If it's not a control node that's consuming the event, you can follow this diagram and see... Oh, this diagram is so unhelpful. The only nodes that can consume the event before a control node are nodes with underscore input functions. So you can look for nodes that have those. So we need to check, I guess, how the hell clicking on an object, so if I just start the game and I just go in there to pick up an object. Let's pause here. Can I just take a look at errors? Function connect returns a value never used. Okay, I don't care. Profiler. Now what I need here, I want to what do I want? Remote, that's what I want. So we have main, which is the map. Well, it contains the map rather. Test, and it has interactive items, which are the wrenches and the batteries. And I have no idea what I'm looking for even. Okay, so here we have battery, item collision, sprite position, mouse area, and mouse collision. Yeah, honestly, I am not sure what I'm looking for here. So let's just go back to our... If I open the map here, where is the map? The map should be maps and test. If I just open this test here, it contains these wrenches, and if I just open it separately in the editor, we can see that wrench is based off the something. What is it? It's based off kinematic body, class name item. So it's an item. Damn. Come on, open. And it has item collision and item sprite, mouse area, and mouse collision. So what I need is actually, yeah, mouse entered, mouse exited for this. But how is picking up this item handled? Where is this handled at all? Tasks, UI controller, whatever. Common elements, cameras, walls, interactables, no, dynamic, no, where are items? There they are. Items, so this is the base item. Doesn't have anything on it, and you build any item you want on top of these items, or the base item. But the base item script physics process picking up and dropped, can pick up with mouse and can pick up with mouse false. So this is alright, but how do we pick up? What calls the pickup? Where do we handle the mouse click? That's what I need to figure out to solve this problem, I would think so. Where do we pick up? Okay, for that This is called picked up. The item is picked up. Being held equals true. Map items dot remove child self holding player dot item handler add child. Okay, so we need to find what calls picked up. Picked up. Okay, physics process calls picked up. Being picked up equals false. If being picked up, then and there is no holding player. Okay. The global position is the okay, so it just changes the global position. If it's being picked up, it's going to fly towards the character. That's what it does. And if it's got close enough so the distance is less than picked up threshold, then it's not being picked up anymore, and it's not being picked up, but it's being picked up, I guess. Oh. And if it's picked up, then collision layer 4 is turned to false and is moved onto the characters. So it's going to become a child of the character that's holding it instead of the character, instead of the child of the map. So it's when it's on the map, when we are just, the object is lying on the floor here, then it's a child of the map. And when the user picks it up, then it will become a child of the character. That makes sense. And picking up is, picking up is which initiates the process of the object moving from the map to the person. So we need a grep -e picking up. But we need to, how do I recursively search? R and I guess N or L? Okay. How do I make... Okay, so at least now we got line numbers. So item handler and item.gd. So we need item handler line 84 for this one. The hell is item handler? And this is the point when no one's watching this stream anymore, because it makes no sense. I'm trying to just trace back something that someone else did. Item handler, where that should be? It should be somewhere in main. Assets. Main. Not in main. Maps. Interactables, no. Dynamic, no. Where is the item handler? Okay, I should have just took a look at this line and grep. I'm sorry. Assets player. It's under player. Assets player. And because the player, this is player.tscn is this. And the player has an item handler. Yeah, it has an item handler. So item handler and the line 82. Function pickup item. So this pickup item gets called in the item handler, but what calls pickup? Pick underscore up. found item. It's players.gd213. It's players. Yeah, it's players. It's not player.gd. It's players.gd from assets main. Yeah, I know, Moxalex, that you are here. I'm just saying that it's like not really the most entertaining content that I'm producing here. While trying to figure out, I've already figured this out once when I was writing. I changed something about this item handling like 1 year ago, and now I'm already as confused as I was at the beginning. Player item handler pickup. So it's main/players. I kind of have the feeling that maybe this whole thing just needs a total rewrite from the beginning with a little more planning, I guess. Players 213. Player item handler dot pickup found item. So this is a pickup item. Actually have a player pick up an item. How is this called? That's what we need to trace back. It's players.gdrp. Okay, so this is a remote process call to pick up item. Yeah, because we need to do that in all the players, not just like everyone, all the clients, so all the connected players will have to pick up the item. I mean, the same character in everyone's game should pick up the item, so that's what the RPC is doing there in line 196. Yeah, this one. This is player picked up item. Yeah, that's the problem because it's a multiplayer game. And okay, so now I can see at least main player picked up item is right here, and this is the one that calls player picked up item and on main player picked up item. So this one will have to be connected to something. When I was working on the character customization to, you know, like to be able to change the hair color and things like that nature, and also being able to like broadcast these changes, well, I drew a diagram of how the functions are called, and maybe this is what this requires here. The item handling also would require that. So on main player picked up item, it's player item handler connect main player picked up item. So we need the main player picked up item event that's going to be connected to the main player picked up item function. Okay, let's just clear the screen so I can see only this mess, not all the other mess. So main player picked up item. So on main player picked up. Okay, on main player picked up item path, players item and signal. So that's what we need. Signal. Main player picked up item path. Emit signal. Main player pick. Okay, so we emit the signal, and this signal emission. So the signal is defined and emitted here in item handler. And the signal is connected to the function of onMainPlayer picked up item, and onMainPlayer picked up item function is this. So now I can just find the emit signal. This is item handler.gd66. So we are back in player in item handler. So item handler and 66. Test pickup. Drop the player's current held item if it exists and pick up a new item. Where is test pickup coming from? Test pickup is coming from function input event. Okay. So now we have an input function, an input event function with the whether pickup can happen or not. That test is running on the server in players.gd. That ensures that discrepancies in timing due to lag will still result in the item picking up happen the same on all clients. Note, before clicking we have to check whether pickup is enabled, otherwise the clicking will result in dropping the item in hand and no pickup. Okay, at least we have an important note here. We found something in this code base. Okay, so this reminds me of a book I've read, I don't know, a long time ago, in which they are on it's a very futuristic sci-fi novel, and they are on a spaceship, and what they have, they don't actually have like programmers, they have programmer archaeologists, because the assumption is that every kind of problem have already been solved some way, so someone have already programmed the solution to it, and they just have to find. So the programmers don't need to write any new code anymore, they just have to find the programs that would fit their situations, and that's like their job. And now I kind of feel like digging through this, just trying to figure out how this is solving problems. Well, of course, the better analogy to that book would be like how I was just going through the internet trying to find a solution to my problem. But at least we have this, the input handler of the input function of the input item handler from, and this is on the player. So the player has this node called item handler, and this item handler has has what we need in terms of the input function. And so this is a func underscore input. Okay, and here on our chemical cabinet, and can I just do this? Yes. So on our chemical cabinet we use what do we use? So we have this input events connected to these signals, input event signals. Okay, so the conflict is we have the input event signals here. Okay, so what maybe we should be doing is actually just modifying the item handler script. Because, where is my item handler script? Item handler script, input event. So what we need to check, first of all, if not player main player, so if this, okay, so this is only working on the player that the current, so the character that is the current player controlling. Okay, so there is some confusing nomenclature in our code in which we call both the player, the person, actually the human playing the game, and also the character in the game are both named player, which is a bit confusing. So I think what needs to be done here is action pressed interact, or if event is input event mouse button. So what we also need to check player.is movement disabled. That's an interesting question here. So is the movement of the player disabled if there is a screen like a... So maybe is that Moxolix, you said you tested the game. Did you have also this same issue with the train not being fixed on the viewport? So the thing is that if once I open this chemical cabinet, can I just... Yeah, I can walk away. So that's... Alright, so that's what we should solve here. And I guess this task system, this is not my task now, so I can't do anything about that. So that's what should happen, is once we open a screen like this, so my question is the main branch screwed up the train? Or did I screw up the train with something? I'll have to debug this, something totally irrelevant, or not irrelevant, but unrelated. I screwed up something totally unrelated. So what we should be doing is whenever... Okay, so the problem is not really where I thought it is. And it took me only 1 hour, 8 minutes to figure that out. Not the greatest material for as a YouTube content, I would say, but anyways. Okay, so I screwed up the train. Also, the game always goes through full screen. That only goes full screen for you because you set it in the options. We have a full screen option in our options. That's not baked into the code. That's a user specific setting. Oh. I will have to unbrake the train. But that's not what I'm looking for now. What I'm looking for now is, and now that's actually we can maybe solve this issue by where is the... Oh, there is the stand button hidden. Whatever. So the issue is where should I look for? So we have, okay, let me just try this once more. So if I just go in there, how do I activate a task? So I can go here and like key press E does not work. I have to press the button here that says chemical cabinet, and this should prohibit me of moving, so they can see that I'm moved while I'm doing the task, which should not be possible. While I'm doing the task, while I'm on this screen, I should get my movement disabled, which is nice and all. So let me just check how can we... Is movement disabled? Okay, so this player is movement disabled. Is movement disabled? Returns movement disabled. Set movement disabled. Set whether player movement should be disabled. So what do we use? What can change this? So set movement disabled. Set movement disabled and player set movement disabled. It's an infiltrator. Player set movement disabled. True. Player set movement disabled. False. Infiltrator. Death handler. Okay, so there is not much that actually disables player movement, but maybe this is not really the best way to do it, because if anything can turn back the movement while we open the screen, that might be an issue. So instead, what we're going to do is we are going to just well, I guess we need to disable the movement somehow. And is not movement disabled. We have a movement disabled. So maybe instead of just this returning movement disabled, this should actually have some logic in it. Some logic that actually checks whether a window is open. How the hell do we do that? How the hell do we check for the movement being disabled or not? No. How do we check for whether there's a window open on the screen or not? So I don't want to just turn off the movement when opening the window, even though that probably is the easiest way to handle this though. So we have I think that's an easy way to handle it, but that will just screw things up in the future. I'm afraid. So we have assets, and we have, what do we have? We have a HUD, default HUD. And what does this default HUD do? Start game button and button. Control, what? Interact UI. HBox container. I'm not sure. I am not sure. So maybe I can just try to debug this. Just see what the code does. So when this appears here, what makes this appear? So first of all, let's pause execution here and let's go to the remote tree. We have main, UI controller, maps. Okay, so this is one thing. UI controller, interact UI, HBox container, chat box. Okay, what are all these buttons? Type pop-up menu. Okay, this looks like the task screen on the top, to be honest. Okay, root main maps test. Okay, this is what it creates. It creates something in the HBox container. I think this is, yeah, this is going to be the chemical cabinet button. And it is in the HBox container of the Interact UI. So this is the Interact UI. It will create a button. Just add the child, new button. Yeah, it's very simple. Gets the new button name from Interact key. I will suppose that this, so Interact this cabinet. It has a collision shape, which is what? How does this work? Yeah, it has the display text, and display text is get interact data self, interact resource. Okay, so this is going to be very complicated. How do I solve this issue? Anyways, the interact, in any case, the interact GUI will create a button. And then there will be a button pressed function. The button, it connects the button pressed new button name. Okay, so it will just connect to this function. So whenever the button is pressed, it will just, if not button interact key has button name return, and otherwise button interact dict button name interact node dot interact. Oh my! What is this interact node? Dot interact. Button interact dictionary. It creates the buttons. Can I just... Okay, let me just do something really ugly here. And I will just open the game and I will test whatever it's gonna do, and I'm just going to check whatever happens when I open this one. Oh, I cannot open. Oh, damn it. Hope the game doesn't break. Okay, now this works. Oh, so now if I come here, the task test works. But this one actually... Okay, so this one actually does not let me move. How is it doing that? Because if I go here and open this one, this lets me move. Okay, so actually, maybe I can find the solution in the task test clock set something. How is it done? I don't know, but let's check out. So if I open up my map here, no, I actually just have to go to the tasks clock set, I guess, because this one should have all the answers to my questions, because this, and I'm just going to try this one more time. So let me just pick up this item, put it down right there. Yeah, and I don't pick it up even if I click around here. So this clock should have all the answers to my questions, and it just took me 22 minutes to get to this before or after the previous realization. So it opens new idea. I don't know. Ready in hours. Or okay, maybe I'm totally wrong here. Maybe I am just very wrong, because and this whole thing only works for the sole reason. Wait, it has a disable movement. It has a disable movement property here, which my chemical cabinet also has. Oh no! Was it this simple to solve? Let's check out. If this was the only thing that I needed to do here, then I'll be damned. Oh, well, I need the task to be available for me. Chemical cabinet task is available for me, alright. Now I cannot move, which is great. I cannot pick that up. No, I still can pick it up. I still can pick it up, damn. It works though. Yeah, it works. And now the game breaks, okay. So now if I just do this, I did not pick up the wrench, even though no, I picked it up. So this disable movement is not enough in itself to solve every problem, but through that I think we can solve it. I think through the disable something. So if I go to my chemical cabinet here and disable movement, we check what does this do? How does this disable movement work? That's what we need to find out. And that's coming from the window dialog task, I would think. No? Where is it coming from? Disable underscore movement. Control base. It's in control base and it is pop-up panel base, if not disable. Okay. Window dialog base. They all have this disable movement things. Disable movement, pose menu, disable movement is true. Window dialog base, if not disable movement. Okay, let's just check out window dialog base.gd first. So here we have the disable movement, defunct notification. Match what? Notification post pop-up, UI manager you open, notification pop-up hide, UI manager you closed. Can you just... Yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay, I have a phone call. Alright, it seemed like it was a known spam number where the call came from. It was not important after all. Okay, so that's what I try. Yeah. So Moxflex in the chat asks, can you just in the pickup item code check if movement is disabled? Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. But the thing is that this disable movement, I want to see how it is possible to check. Yeah. If not disable movement, that's what I am trying to figure out. Is because the only place where disable movement is tested based on my graphing here is this. If not disable movement, and this and this and this. How do we know that movement is disabled when we move our characters around? That's what I am trying to figure out. Player. Okay, go away. So now this item handler. Let's just test pickup. Emit exit tree, whatever, input. Yeah, so this one only tests if the movement is disabled on the specific player. Okay, but how? Let me just search for this one. UI manager, in underscore UI. UI manager in UI. What is this UI manager in UI doing? What the hell? 141, sorry. Not 41, it's 141. So get inputs, yeah, UI manager in UI. And not is movement disabled, okay. Open UIs, okay. Could I just ask, or just in UI, just ask whether if when we pick up an item, are we in a UI? UI manager. If not UI manager in UI. Let me just add this to the item handler. And then if UI manager in UI or, and if this like two words are the solution to all this searching for 1 hour and a half or almost 2 hours at the moment. Oh, well, we don't have the chemical cabinet. Yeah, that's a bug, I guess, that even if we don't have this task, the button still appears. That's a bug that we will have to separate. I don't want to solve it here because I'm already doing too much in this. I feel like that should be a separate thing. Okay, now I cannot move and yeah. Doesn't matter how many times I click, it doesn't pick it up, but if I just click now, it picks it up and I can still open the door. Yes! Okay. Thank you, Moxfolix, for this suggestion. It actually worked. Okay, so I think I should commit these changes now, because if we check our Git status, we have changed a lot of things. What the hell did we change with item.tscn and range.tscn and player.tscn? Okay. Let me just, Godot sometimes be weird. Just literally moved the input. Okay, so what are these changes? And what about with items slash range.tscn? It got a sprite position removed, or nodes removed. Why? What about the interact point.tscn? I'll just do a git diff. So items.tscn, I don't know what these changes are. I didn't do this. Range.tscn, I did not do anything to that. Interact point.tscn, why would you just do this to me? And yeah, and item handler, I changed it. I realized that. Player.tscn, I did not change that. Chemical cabinet UI.gd, yeah, I changed that, that's for sure. That's the whole purpose of doing things here. Replace with function body, yeah, I did that. That's what that was me. Chemical cabinet UI.tscn. Here I actually did some changes, so yay. And what are all these? Okay, yeah, this is like the changes in the position of the nodes. And what is this? Project.godot. I don't know why things in the project.godot file have been modified. But I guess I probably did this something. Okay, so git restore src assets items tsc, and we don't want tsc, and we don't want those two to be changed, and we want to git restore. What's the okay? Let's just check the player once more if I to make sure. Player tscn, that these change, because the thing is that if I just commit these changes, then in later it will just give us a lot of headache resolving merge conflicts. If these random changes did by Godot make it to the thing. Okay, so now git status, and these default src assets maps common interactables interact point.tsc, and what's the deal with this? Yeah, I don't want this to be changed. UI HUD default hard.tsc, and there is one extra line added there. Okay, so these are item handler, chemical cabinet, and the project. These are all legit changes. I changed the item handler to not be able to pick up when a UI is open, and then or maybe we can change it in the future that it actually checks if the open UI actually blocks movement. Okay, so these are all the programming changes that I just implemented from the last week into this, and these are the new signals and all the modifications to all these other things. So git add and git commit implemented the UI for chemical cabinet task. Now the interaction with the UI for the chemical cabinet task. Okay, so I can just push it. Light mode terminals cause me physical pain. Very illegal. I guess. Oh, I need to enter my passphrase like a million times. Why? It is because of git LFS and because I don't have a good pull kit installed under my DWM setup, that's why. And now you can get it from GitHub. And now to the next point, that would be to actually this is what I want. Following files are newer on disk. What action should be taken? Reload. Actually, what action should be taken is just after all that, just to close Godot. Open Godot again. And okay, so what we need to do is we need to implement to change this cabinet. And this cabinet is, where are you? Where are the tasks? Here are the tasks. It's just interact point and the collision shape. Okay, what is this one? This is the actual sprites, and we need to do this. No, not this. We need to do this. Door closer. What are the things here? So we have closed door, open door, start timer, and close door. For on the closed door timeout. I just don't put password on SSH key. Security. Oh, why is... I just realized that something's wrong here with the stream. Sorry. So let's get back to the... Here. So what I want is, yeah, just be able to open the door on this. So interact point, what's the interact point doing? Get interact data and then interact resource interact. This is going to be complicated. And I already spent 2 hours solving the easy problem. Which is not good. Can I just close all here? And what we want is UI, tasks, chemical cabinet. So this UI check complete, is task completed, sync task, get res.sync task, task manager, get task resource, is task completed. How do we synchronize the status? Yeah, let's just have a break, and I will try to solve this issue sometime in the future. I will spend some time thinking about it and checking out, because it's a quite complicated synchronization task we have to achieve here. So, because these things have to be synchronized through the network and things like that. So, that will be a program for another time, I guess. I will have to check how the clock task or a clock set task is done. Like, that's a prototype for synchronization, so I will just check how that does it. And I will try to do the same in this one in the next time, but first I will have to familiarize myself a little more on how these are done. So, thank you for watching, and see you